Today, we will be discovering the world of Agnes Paul-Depasse, the artist behind the incredible straw marquetry that you can find on the Caran Dragon, limited to only 20 pieces in the whole world. Hey Goodfellas, I'm Naldi and we are at Style of Zug. Today, we're really diving into a marvel of an ancient craft. The Caran Straw Marquetry Dragon fountain pen that we're about to discover is a creation that pushes the limits of fine artistry. It is limited to only 20 fountain pens in the world, and it brings together the centuries-old straw marquetry technique with the know-how and Swiss precision of Caran as a maison de haute écriture. And in a second, we will be discovering the atelier of the artist that created this incredible piece. Because I went all over to Vevey to see what this art is all about and who the artist is. So let's start by unboxing the piece. What makes this exceptional piece so special is not just the dragon motif that is a symbol of strength and wisdom, but it's actually how it has been crafted. The intricate details that you see on the pen are not painted or printed, no. They're hand-cut, hand-laid, using a centuries-old technique that is mastered really by less than a handful of artisans around the world. And to actually understand and appreciate the craft and the importance of this limited edition, we have to head over to the west part of Switzerland to discover the atelier and the artist behind the making of this incredible edition. And before we head over there, make sure to subscribe to the channel. It's free, it helps us a lot. You won't miss out on incredible new content that is coming out twice a week, and it will make you part of this amazing community of Goodfellas. Thank you and welcome. I'm heading to Vevey, Switzerland, to meet Agnes Paul-Depasse. She's one of the very few people on this planet who masters the art of straw marquetry, working with a straw planted from a single craftsman in France. And beyond her extraordinary skills, she also has a warm, welcoming atelier, where I'll be greeted not only by her, Agnes, but also by her beautiful horse and pony. And after that we made sure that they're happy outside, we head into the atelier and get to sit down with Agnes.
We're in my craft shop. It's just above Vevey. It's in the countryside. It's a craft shop also very close to my stable because I brought my 2 ponies here. Actually, 1 pony and 1 horse. I'm very happy because my craft shop is related to my stable and I'm passionate about horses, so it's a dream that came true for me. I started to work with straw marquetry 25 years ago while studying cabinet making. At the time, I was doing shopping in the streets of Paris and I saw on an antique shop some basket made of straw marquetry, and I was absolutely fascinated about the technique that was employed on that box. So I decided to learn the technique. At the time, it was quite amazing because nobody knew how to do the technique. It was a technique that was almost instinct. There was only one woman who was trying to learn to work with it. And so I decided also to try to find the way to use the straw on furnitures and on boxes. Actually, the straw marquetry appeared in France in the 15th century. It was brought by travelers that came back from Asia. There is still a tradition of straw marquetry in Japan today. I think there is one master still alive. Unfortunately, the technique will probably extinct again in Japan because nobody is going to follow after the master. The technique in Japan was made with rice straw, but in Europe it was made of rye and not rice. In the 15th century and in the 18th century, it was very famous over France and England. And after the 15th century, it disappeared, reappeared in the 18th century. It was mostly done at the time by women in the high society to get occupied. And the technique disappeared again after the 18th century and was found by two cabinet makers in the 1930s, Jean-Michel Franck and André Groult. And these two cabinet makers gave a completely different look to the straw marquetry because they started to apply straw marquetry on also boxes, but on furnitures and on walls. The fact that they use straw marquetry to cover walls was really completely new. It was very fashionable at the time because the straw putting on walls give a 3D effect that is really amazing, you know, so people were very attracted to the technique and very amazed actually. And after the 1930s period, you know, perhaps because of the war, actually nobody knows, but the technique disappeared again and was found again in the 90s by one woman that wanted to restore the furniture she had from her grandparents. And at the same time, I started also to look for straw marquetry. At the time, we were only 3 people. This woman had to find some farmers that were able to grow the straw like it was done before. And it was very complicated because we didn't know how to dye it the same way it was done at the time. And these farmers had to find a special technique to grow the straw. For the straw marquetry, they have to cut the straw earlier on to make the fiber really soft so we can work with it. So it's pretty delicate. I've been starting to miniaturize the technique of straw marquetry 15 years ago. Actually, I started to work on watches, dials for Hermès, proposing to Hermès the technique of the straw marquetry because the Hermès family had a collection of straw marquetry items. They were very fond of straw marquetry, and actually they decided in the 90s re-editate some furnitures that were made by Jean-Michel Franck. So they bought the patents of Jean-Michel Franck and re-editate some screens and furnitures, and it was very interesting. To work for Caran was really different because I had to find a new technique to work on the pen because the straw is not applied on a flat surface, it's applied on a cylinder. So it was very kind of a challenge, you know, to be able to work and apply the straw on the pen. And so the new challenge was very interesting, you know, and I'm very happy that we were able to do it. Caran was very interested about using straw marquetry on this pen because of the reflex of the tiny pieces of straw that gives life actually of the scales of the dragon, you know. So it was very interesting to use that kind of technique. So actually I was very happy that it was a limited series because it's very tough. It's very difficult, you know, to make. And my hands were very used, you know, I had to use a very strong, you know, strength to apply the scales, you know, on the cylinder. So I was happy that only few were made. When I make that piece of art, I always think of the customer that will use the pen and that will cherish also the technique, appreciate and like the technique as I do. For me, it's really great to imagine that you will have the same sensitivity as I had when I did that work and understand as much as I do the poetry and the magic that there is in the technique.
Experiencing the passion and the dedication and the know-how that Agnes puts into her creation adds a complete new layer of understanding and appreciation when looking at the writing instrument. That's why I think that we're now ready to discover the fountain pen itself. As you can see, the writing instrument has a very special clip that of course reminds to the tail of a dragon. So that's one of the first specialty that Caran has worked on this Le Mans-shaped writing instrument. Then, as a first base, the brass cap and barrel have been coated with a sand-finished golden layer, where then the straw marquetry has been applied all over the body. Above this layer, there is the black Chinese lacquer that adds a lot of depth on the writing instrument itself. You can see between the engravings and then the wonderful straw marquetry how the dragon is revolving all around the writing instrument. And a wonderful detail that we find in the middle of the barrel is this claw of the dragon holding a sphere, which is a symbol of wisdom when it comes to dragon motifs, that is in this brown, wonderful marquetry also. The grip section also features a wonderful embossing that reminds to the skin of a dragon and then is fitted with a gold-plated 18-karat solid gold nib of Caran. The dragon has been designed by Jean-Philippe Kalonji. Kalonji, which is a Geneva-born artist and illustrator. So the whole work really starts with an artist that designs the pen, and then there's the product manager who has to conceive how this pen will be made and built, and then there's the work of Agnes Paul-Depasse, and then there's the fact that they created different elements specifically only for this writing instrument, hours and hours of work, and the limitation of only 20 pieces in the world. Think about it, she has added 99 pieces of straw in different colors to create this incredible design all over the writing instrument. The one that we have here at Style of Zug is number 1 of 20 pieces in the world. It is priced at 27,000 Swiss francs. No wonder, given the weeks of work and the amount of precision that goes into cutting the elements and then setting them one after the other on this very complex shape. It's a piece that represents the perfect harmony between history, craftsmanship, and of course also luxury. It's indeed a collector's piece because it's a kind of work that has been never used on a writing instrument before. I'll be wondering to read your feedbacks on this comment. I can't wait. Don't forget that every time that you leave a comment, you're adding so much to this community and to people watching the video. Next thing they do is they go down and they check your feedbacks and your opinions. So thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more content that is coming up, and don't forget that together we are changing the game.